And hey guys, welcome back to the channel, back with the Wandering Mariner. So it is Saturday night, we are home, but it is a Saturday subscriber Q&A, and we are going to jump right into it tonight. And the main topics tonight are going to kind of be covered with how much is your time really worth? And if you are thinking about Military Sealift Command or the maritime industry, I think the biggest piece of advice I could ever give anyone is just to really think about why you want to do this. Because this is an investment, and this is an investment of money. It's an investment of your time. And more than anything, it's an investment of your life. And we're going to get into it. So here we go. So the upfront costs of joining Military Sealift Command, or even just sailing all in all, these are just the bare bone basics of what you need to invest just to get started in the maritime career. And one, you have to get your TWIC card. You're going to look at $125 there. Medical exam, anywhere from $100 to $200. A drug test is about $75, give or take. It depends on where you go. Passport is $165. If you want to express it, it can be, another $80 in express fees and everything there. And then you have the Merchant Marine credential itself, and that can go anywhere from $140 to $280, depending on what kind of credentials you're looking at and how much review they have to do of all of it. So there's a definite upfront investment with getting into the maritime industry. And that's not counting all the, once you're in, like the other things that you invest in and whatnot. But so first question of the night says, greetings. And this is from Dale F 5712. It says, I was a boiler technician for 4 years in the Navy. After being honorably discharged, I worked as a power plant operator for more than 30 years, mostly as a shift supervisor. And now I'm recently retired. And I'm very bored in retirement and want to return back to the workforce. MSc engineering employment appeals to me. Although I'm in good shape and I have no serious health issues, before I apply for my TWIC card, I need to know if my age will be a factor during the hiring process. Will it be a hindrance? So I don't believe MSc is going to take any weight to your age. I think if you are physically fit and that you don't have no medical or health issues, so there's different levels of the medical requirements for Military Sealift Command. When you first get hired or you first apply, you have to do your Merchant Marine credentials first. So you do your medical evaluation there to get your credentials, and you send that into MSc during the hiring phase. But that's not the end of your medical. If you become selected for employment with MSc, they're going to send you through another medical examination. And this medical examination is going to be a lot more in depth. They are going to really dig into your blood work and like go over your health history and everything. And it is an outside entity that does medical exams for federal workers. And like, I went through my Merchant Marine credential one. That's really easy. That's really simple. But once you get to that one for the actual employment, that's when they delve into your blood work and everything else. And they really screen you tough. The hearing test and everything else. So I think that is a big hurdle for a lot of people that apply to MSc. There's a saying in MSc, what does MSc stand for? And, mainly scheduled changes, or more shit coming, or mostly senior citizens. Because there are a lot of people that were in the Navy that decide that they want to continue on and keep sailing. And, we all kind of get, kind of institutionalized. And I had done a video previously, I guess, here, and it was like episode 4, the people of MSc. And I kind of made a joke about it, the institutionalized. But it's not that uncommon that, we're always looking for the next chapter, the next adventure, what we want to do. And, just doing these videos has me rethinking, MSC and going back out to sea. And I always want to keep my credentials current, so that's always an option for me. But I've also spent a lot of my life at sea. And there comes a time and a point where you're like, all right, what is the next chapter? And MSC is a big investment of your time. It's unlike most jobs. It's military light. You're not in uniform. You're not doing a lot of the BS that the military has to deal with. But you are deployed a lot. You are working a lot. You are sacrificing a lot. So, and that brings up our next question. That's from Declan. He says, 99% of the public would think you were talking about import duty, but mariners know import duty is something totally different. Thanks for what you do. And thanks for being here, watching, and leaving the comments, guys. When you guys like these videos, it helps me out, helps the algorithm, and, helps the channel progress. So that's why I do the videos. But it says, the roughest part to me with MSC is the long hitches. I don't know why they do it. To great mariners and families would be interested in with shorter hitches, but oh well. Well, MSC is on to that. And if you guys look at the MSC's hiring website, and I didn't know about this until somebody actually asked me about it, I want to say back a couple months, about the mixed work schedule. And when talking about the mixed work schedule, right now it's only open to certain positions, but it's half time. You only work 6 months a year. That's the maximum amount of time you can work under the mixed work schedule. So that is very interesting. I think that if that takes off and does well and they progress it out there, I think that would be interesting for a lot of mariners to kind of take advantage of it. Because people, when you start your life, your focus is this way. And then as you add kids and spouses and houses and dogs and all the other things that, life happens, and staying with MSC can become a challenge, So, and thank you for the question. Next one is from Poppy Smith. He says, good day. I have an RE4 re-entry code from the military. I was in the Coast Guard, but it was an honorable discharge. Would this affect my chances of getting a job as a cook at Military Sealift Command? So, certain things you need to understand is you probably fit in the book of hiring for Military Sealift Command. Everybody, unless you have committed certain crimes or done certain things, everybody kind of fits. But it doesn't necessarily mean you would be the best qualified in their eyes. So if they were looking for all these applicants and they came across an RE4 code from the military, that just kind of says red flag. That it doesn't mean you're disqualified, but it means caution needs to be taken. There's going to be a lot more questions. They're not just going to say, oh, is DD-214? No big deal. Let's just keep going. They're probably going to ask you questions about it in the hiring phase. And my best advice to you would be talk to a recruiter and ask them, their opinion, because they see this every day. But apply if you want to invest in that. Now, RE4 code, you could go sail commercial. You could join SIU. Nobody cares about military so much. But because you're getting a security clearance with Military Sealift Command, they're going to delve into it. And being upfront and honest about everything is going to be super important when it comes to MSC. So hopefully that helps. The next question is from Flores 2235. He says, I got hired as a DC2, damage controlman second class. It took 4 months. So I did a video, and this from the last question, this is a good example. I did a video previously about the damage control jobs that are with MSC. here's a person that seen what I'd posted and said, I got hired as a DC2 and it took 4 months. Now, again, it goes back to that. What is the best candidate that they have available in front of them at that time? So if they really needed a damage controlman and there was nobody that was a DCC or, a previous chief or somebody that had more training than this person, maybe didn't get hired. But this DC2 did get hired. And that just proves the power of the internet. Because whenever you say this is the way it is, somebody else will come out and prove you wrong. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And if you guys want to do this, if you want to invest the money in doing this and invest your time in doing it, I think MSC is a great opportunity. But and don't take anybody's word on the internet of how things are all the time, because nobody is the ever-flowing river of knowledge. There is always lots of other opportunities and options out there. And if you apply to MSC and it doesn't work out, there's other maritime careers that, if you want to sail, are out there. So, and this is from Fabian 2032, says, can you talk about NEO? So NEO is new employment or employee orientation. So MSC has the hiring phase where you first get hired or you apply, and then they kind of do a negotiation with you about, hey, if you accept this job, we've reviewed everything, you look qualified, we'd like to offer you an opportunity to come to NEO and then have a contract afterward. And if you accept it, you show up at NEO, which I think they have like a dress code, which is just a collared shirt and some slacks. Now, you don't have to get all business suity or anything, but you don't want to go in there looking like a slob either. But, get yourself together when you go to orientation. And when you're there, it is just like a state job or any other federal employment. What they're going over with you is all the policies and the legalese that they need to express to you, that you need to understand about security clearances, about equal opportunity, how we treat everybody the same, we're fair, we don't discriminate against anybody. And they go over with you like the employment, the process to file grievances if something doesn't go right, just so you understand like your rights as an employee and like outlets of how to get answers if things don't work out for you. But it's just an orientation. It goes like a week, I think. It was a long time ago when I went, and but you go through that week, and then everybody, after you complete orientation, and I want to say it was 4 or 5 days. But when you go through it, they're just like going through everything. This is the medical program. You got to figure out like what kind of medical insurance you're going to use. If you're going to sign up for the thrift savings plan, which I definitely recommend anybody, especially if you're young, get into the thrift savings plan and start investing in that right away, because they do some matching, and it's a great opportunity to save money, and it compounds interest while you're young. So it's a great thing. And it's just like we had in the Navy. It's the same program, TSP. So, but you can take loans against it. They'll go through all different types of information of just like to inform you on one side. And then on the other side is the screening process. And even though you're at NEO, they will let you know that you're not really through the gate yet. Like, a lady's going to come in and she's going to say, if I could get everybody's attention, there's been some credit report hits that came back that weren't exactly what everybody in here put down. This is your last chance to come clean and tell us about your credit history, about anything that you didn't do. Because if you don't tell us about it and we have this information, you're not going to get hired. And when that happened, I remember like probably like 30% of the class got up and went out with her. And then the next day it was like, the next question was like, drug test came back. Does anybody want to tell us something that you didn't tell us before? and it's funny, but the thing is, it's a way for them to screen. And the most important thing about NEO before you go and the whole application process is be upfront and honest. Tell them everything or take it to your deathbed with you. If you smoked marijuana when you were a teenager or whatever, and it wasn't legal where you were doing it or whatever, but you were never arrested for anything, that'd be my opinion. And you know what? It's been so long, I don't even know what the drug questions are anymore. So all I know is you can't use them when you're with MSC. So hopefully that nailed it down a little bit. I could do a more in-depth video, but there's a lot of good stuff on the internet you can find about NEO. There's a Facebook group. If you guys do get to the NEO portion, go on Facebook's MSC 101, Military Sealift Command 101 Facebook page. And I think that you can glean a lot of good information from other mariners that are already there. But I wouldn't join that Facebook group until you're like going to NEO. Get hired first. All right. And then the next one is, question was from Crime versus Punish. It says, should I stick with AB until I have 180 days at sea to become a third officer? And, a lot of people, especially the guys that come out of the Navy, because you get sea time credit, you can get all that time. And if you go and get your documents ahead of time, going from military to mariner, you will have enough sea time that you could almost go for your third mate's license. Maybe you got to get more watch time. Maybe you got to do certain things. So I say yes, do it. If your time horizon for investing with MSC is going to be 8 years, 10 years. If you like sailing and you think that you're not going to tap out and say, the wife's going to have a kid, time to go home, if you think you're going to make it a career, then it's definitely a great investment in yourself and opportunities later on in life. For myself, I have a lot of regrets in life, and I think that some of the big ones I have regrets with was how I spent my time when I was at sea, and then how I spent my time when I was home, and not enough time at home. Because when you join MSC, the Merchant Marine field, you are going to miss Christmases, you are going to miss birthdays, you're going to miss births of children, you're going to miss anniversaries, you're going to miss deaths, you're going to miss all these things that it will put a lot of stress in your life. And if you're not prepared for it, then everybody's got to weigh it out themselves. Is this a good decision for you to join MSC or not? I don't know, guys. I know that if I was talking to my sister-in-law yesterday, she was like, so, out of all the time you've been gone, do you wish you wouldn't have done it, or would you do it again if you could do it all over again? And I was like, absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, honestly, I love the Navy so much that if they said I could start over as an E1 and go back into the Navy and do another 20 years, I would probably join the Navy again. Just because I loved the Navy so much and just everything about it. There wasn't maybe it's because I've been retired so long. I remember everything. I love everything about it, but I enjoyed it. And, if you're thinking about MSC, there's lots of opportunities for your life. There's lots of possibilities to get a lot of great training in the maritime field, to upgrade your license. If you do stay with MSC and do the 180 day or 1,080 days to upgrade your license, MSC will help you pay for all those upgrades and all your training and everything else. You get a chance to travel. You guys will see very good job security. And honestly, I think, and this is part of the reason why I'm kind of looking back at the maritime field right now, because job security right now, I feel the economy's foobarred, guys. And people could say, it's good, but if you're well invested in the stock market and you got good working capital, there's lots of opportunities for business owners and whatnot. But for the average Joe, everything is 30-40% more expensive today than it was 3 years ago. And we have a lot of migration coming to America, and I think the competition for jobs is getting tighter. And I just think job security out there it's a tough thing to kind of lock in for some people. And I'm always thinking, what's plan B? What's plan C if things hit the fan? So, and mostly I think with MSC, it just provides a lot of adventure in life, because if you can live out of your sea bag and you're the type of person that likes to go and do new stuff and learn new stuff, there's lots of opportunities with MSC. So hopefully you guys get some value out of me rambling away every night. But make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll hit you on the next one. Leave your comments as well. Peace out, guys.